Hey guys, back for another episode. So happy to have you here. My name is Nikki. I am a nutrition and fitness coach, small town mom in Iowa with two kids, farm, husband, all the fun stuff. But I also grew up not in the fitness industry, not really being overly healthy. Honestly, went through a lot of body image issues and things like that growing up. And I think a lot of people forget about that, or if they're new to me, they don't realize that I haven't always been who I am now. And I thought a really important, probably quick topic to cover with you would be one that is not letting your past define who you are now or who you want to be as you move forward. We all have a past. We all have things that we've done. We've all had embarrassing moments, bad nicknames, things that we feel like define who we're supposed to be and make us feel stuck. And I felt like that for a long time. I'm going to go over a nickname that my brother gave me when we were kids, and talk about how that took some time to get over and how it actually still stings. I actually had to tell him just a few years ago to stop calling me that. And it still hurts. And I'm not interested in being treated that way anymore. And if he continues it, I'm just not going to come back. And he hasn't called me it since. So I think sometimes we have to rip that band-aid off and be a little confrontational to stand up for ourselves if the duty calls, depending on the situation. Now, this nickname sounds fairly innocent, but it was a digger for me. And that nickname was Ritz Cracker Nikki. Now, here, let me just put this out there. One of our family snacks, you know how you have like those snacks that your family goes to, appetizer per se, you can't even call it an appetizer or an hors d'oeuvre, that your family kind of has like as a go-to before meals or before like holiday meals or to snack on during like holiday get-togethers, that kind of thing. So my family always had like a big thing of Ritz crackers and that spreadable cheese, right? The not like a cheese whiz, but like a cheese tub. And then you just spread it all over crackers. Okay. So I had a very, very hard time with stopping once I started, right? This was kind of my food go-to thing growing up is once I started on something, I would not stop until it was gone. And that made a lot of issues that I had to heal from as an adult. So I can remember doing this with pumpkin bars. I remember doing this with M&Ms. I can remember doing this with anything that filled my plate, right? It didn't matter if it was roast beef sandwiches, like grilled cheese, whatever, like anything that was in front of me, I was going to eat it until it was gone. And it led to a lot of issues. But Ritz crackers and this cheese spread became an issue for me. And I always would just sit down and eat the whole sleeve without even thinking. All the cheese spread, like it was like a big tub. I'd probably eat probably half of it. Just a bad health habit. And I was a bigger girl to say the least back then. And my brother dubbed me Ritz Cracker Nikki, and it stuck with me and stung for a long time. And he even had the audacity to call me that even when I was at my leanest point when I was an adult. I'd been working out for a long time, really trying to like chase this physique goal, which I've talked about in other episodes. I can always touch on that one again. But I was at actually probably a really unhealthy physique at that point, but really, really lean. And he still called me that at holiday events if I chose to have a couple of crackers with cheese on them. And it made me want to go throw up, right? Like now I never actually struggle with bulimia or anything like that. It's nothing to joke about, but it made me want to go run. It made me like sick to my stomach because he called me that. Like I still wasn't good enough. And I kept letting that define me over and over and over again. Just going back to see my family for a holiday event, it would give me anxiety because I was afraid to eat certain things in front of my family for fear that they would pass judgment and say certain things to me from my past, from like 20 years ago, my past. And it hasn't been an issue for me in a long time. I honestly don't even like that cheese anymore. I honestly don't even reach for Ritz crackers hardly ever anymore. If they're there, I might have a couple, but they're not anything that's like, I need the whole sleeve, you know? And it's been great to heal from that, right? And so I think a lot of you have probably gone through similar situations, whether it be with food or something else, where you feel like this thing defines you or this nickname defines you. And then you break away from it, you heal from it. But then if you're around certain people or certain environments, it comes back and it kind of feels like it bites you again, and that wound is wide open again. And it's something that I feel like we need to address because it's going to keep pulling you back and it's going to give you extra anxiety and kind of ruin relationships. And sometimes it's as simple as just speaking up for yourself and saying, knock it off. And that's not okay. And that'll be enough for that person to stop. Now, if that person doesn't have enough respect for you to stop saying or doing the things that reopen this old wound, maybe they're not worth being around very often. And it's just something to consider. But just know that whatever has happened to you before, whatever choices you may have made before, good, bad, ugly, whatever, if you have come to peace with them yourself and you have healed from them yourself, then you have got nothing to be ashamed of and you have nothing holding you back or pulling you back to that moment. All that you need to do is use it as fuel to know that you don't have to be that person anymore. Because, Ritz crackers and having a hard time with food growing up helped me build into who I am today. So I in no way regret going through those hard times with those foods. And I would say food addiction, honestly. But I also know that it's helped me help so many people get through it too, or to learn from it and learn how to overcome it. So if I hadn't gone through it, I wouldn't be able to do this career. So I'm not upset about the fact that I went through it. I just need to know that I don't have to be defined by the fact that I used to have that nickname and it used to be my issue. So just take it for what it's worth. Maybe you have a similar situation. Maybe you can put the same kind of spin and mindset on it as well, where it doesn't define who you are, it just helped build who you are. So hopefully that helps you a little bit. If you have questions, as always, reach out. I hope that this helps somebody today in some way. So I'll talk to you all later on and I'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.